I then rewind myself a bit, and this is what I wanted to do. Can I request that all of us clap to welcome Pumzili here? Thank you. I'd also like to welcome many of you who have adjusted your diaries specially to be here today to participate in this conclave because the subject is dear to many of you. Very briefly about Pumzili, I have a document here which runs into pages, but it's this typical case, where do I start, where do I end? She's special. As a youngster, she was blessed. Her mother was a community worker. Her father was a school teacher. And those qualities is what she picked up, the sensitivity to humanity. Pumzili, at a very young age, in early 20s, she looks very cool and calm here, but she was an activist. She backed an organization called Now. Now. We want liberation now. We want freedom now. And the beauty is that she went around the country pulling people out of the mainstream to participate in the freedom struggle. And that had to do with saying, but listen, before liberation comes education. So that is Pumzili, a minister at a very young age. Mr. Mandela had her in the cabinet. She was Minister for Minerals, Mr. Becky's time. She revamped the minerals whole system, bringing in the underprivileged in the shareholding there, social development around the mines, Deputy President of South Africa in 2005 till 2008, and now the Under-Secretary General of the UN. You know, today, if I might say, Madam, that there is a meeting of rivers in India which is called Sangam. And these are three rivers which meet. It is the UN philosophy, the IMC philosophy, and your philosophy. And what is this philosophy? This philosophy recognizes the power of women. You have a program, WEUNITE, and which addresses gender equality, which addresses violence against women. And both these are integral part, has been integral part of your life, and you at the UN heralding this. And at IMC, which is a 110-year-old chamber, we have a ladies' wing which was established 50 years ago. So that was the foresight of some of the members here. But more than that is our philosophy that what women can contribute. Our vision is to enhance India's competitiveness globally. But if our GDP has to grow, it has to do with your platform to gender. And WEUNITE, as I said, has to do with, and these sites are, we are also setting up a broad partnership with the UN to address skills of women. This is a secret that I know. You know, she was a young activist traveling from Durban to Johannesburg, and there was this charming lawyer. Can you imagine, in a 1-hour flight?
Thank you, Mr. Prem Narayan. Ms. Radhika Nath of the Mahindra Group is one of the stalwarts of the IMC Ladies Wing. She has been associated with the Chamber for several years and is doing an excellent job in her current role as President of the Ladies Wing. I'd like to invite Ms. Radhika Nath to say a few words.
In their own right. We not only seek to fulfill ourselves as homemakers, but we also look to pursue personal aspirations as our careers take center stage. Women everywhere are breaking glass ceilings. We serve as our own role models, seeking greater inclusion in all fronts. Today, we get to define who we are. But our work isn't done. In fact, it is only just starting. Despite our tremendous advances, women perform 66% of the world's work and produce 50% of the food, yet earn only 10% of their income and own a mere 1% of the property. Whether the issue is improving education in the developing world, or fighting global climate change, or addressing nearly any other challenge we face, empowering women is a critical part of the equation. The ladies' wing of the IMC Chamber of Commerce and Industry started as a forum for implementing social change as far back as 1966. Today, 5 decades later, in its 50th year, it has become a dynamic movement for the empowerment of Indian women. Through the year, the wing hosts a variety of lecture series and workshops, delegations and panel discussions, calibrated to showcase the work of women from fields as diverse as sport and media, IT and rural development, politics and law. Our annual award series, in turn, seeks to recognize and further felicitate their work. We strive to help them in their efforts to improve and develop society and lead it toward a more progressive, inclusive path. A good example is our integrated intervention plan to lift the socio-economic conditions of the over 400-strong tribal community living in Gadeshwar, a tribal hamlet in the state of Maharashtra. As a direct result of the wing's efforts, Gadeshwar is now dotted with 75 toilets, a crucial initiative to improve the hygiene and, in turn, the mortality rates of the entire community. A community hall has also been constructed as a space for the village women to conduct small-scale vocational skill development programs. The ladies' wing has also taken the responsibility of ameliorating the Nagpada Police Hospital canteen. The hospital canteen was defunct and in a totally dilapidated state. It is now completely refurbished, renovated, and is fully equipped with the latest appliances. More to it, we have seen that the canteen is operated by the wives of the policemen in an effort to make them economically self-reliant. These are just two small examples of the impact the ladies' wing seeks to have, to nurture the development of an egalitarian, inclusive society for a rapidly growing India. We at the wing are a true reflection of the changing status quo for women and their role in the world. To quote Gandhi, we aim to be the change we would like to see in this world.
Thank you, Ms. Nath. Our chief guest, Madame Phumzile, has taken the time from her very hectic schedule to be with us today. To formally welcome her, I'd like to request Mr. Deepak Prem Narayan and Ms. Radhika Nath to jointly present a small memento to her as a token of our appreciation. I'm sure we can do better than that. There you go. It is an absolute honor to have Madame Phumzile here. A longtime champion of women's rights and gender equality, she has been doing outstanding work since she took over as the executive director of UN Women. I know you all are waiting to...
Enormous. This generation has a unique opportunity to turn the tide. As we have adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, they are critical measures that, when put together, will be able to lead us to substantive equality. And we have a number of possibilities. Because India is one of the significant countries that has signed up to this, together with the citizens of India, we have a possibility to be the first generation to attain substantive gender equality for India and for the world, just as we are the last generation with the possibility to turn the tide of climate change. It's a privilege to be in this generation, but if we do not step up to the challenge and make a difference, we risk betraying the cause that is in front of us, the cause that we are equal to achieve and to deliver on. Thank you.
we as a world will strive to achieve by 2030. I was fortunate enough to play a small role in the announcement in India for the same, along with Akshay Kumar, A.R. Rahman, and Mrs. Tina Ambani. It is an ambitious proposal and a tough one to achieve in 14 years. But I do believe that we can achieve this if we all sincerely try together. I'm sure many of you are aware that India had a woman as her head of state way before the United Kingdom, a feature the United States of America has not managed to achieve as of yet. Which is why it is surprising to hear about gender inequality here in India, and yet sadly we do. On a daily basis, there are shocking stories in the media about violent crimes committed against women. Yet, I can only imagine how many more crimes there are against women in India that go unreported. This is not an India-specific issue, though. In the UN Secretary General's 2006 report on an in-depth study on all forms of violence against women, it was noted that there is no region of the world, no country, no culture in which women's freedom from violence has been secured. Here is another fact. In India, according to data provided by the National Crime Records Bureau, in the year 2001, the reported crimes against women were 1,43,795. In the year 2005, the reported crimes were 3,27,394, more than a 100% increase in numbers. However, I would like to believe that this increase in numbers is not an increase in crime against women. It is an increase in the number of women who are ready to come forward and report them. The world has largely been led by patriarchal societies, and women have, through the years, largely remained quiet in the face of atrocities rather than speak out against them. I know of educated women who remain silent in the face of violence because they are afraid to confront societal norms and have fingers pointed in their own direction, especially when the majority of our society fails to recognize marital rape as a crime. I would urge more women to speak out. It is not okay to feel inferior or weak, because we are not the weaker sex by any stretch of imagination. We may be more emotional, but that is what makes us caregivers and mothers. If you ask each person sitting here today who is the strongest person that they know in their lives, I think the unanimous answer would most likely be that it is their mother, as it is in my case. My mother is by far the most amazing woman I have ever known. And as I stand here on this platform, if I do not act and merely speak, I would be doing my mother and every woman in the world a huge disservice. I would therefore like to pledge today that I will do whatever I can in my capacity to create awareness about gender equality. Thank you very much.
Katrina, thank you so much for being with us. I'd like to invite our sponsor for today's conference, Mr. Rizwan Adatia, to present a small memento to Katrina as a token of our appreciation for her being here today. Thank you, Katrina. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Katrina. Now,
Give me my phone. I'll take one round and come.
Yeah, but don't come before we ring you.